Hello, I'm High Hill Knight. Welcome to my channel. This is my review and rant of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. I give the movie a D, and that is not for dinosaur. The movie takes place 3 years after the tragedy of the Jurassic World theme park. The volcano that's on the island has become active, threatening to eradicate the remaining dinosaurs that were left behind. So Claire and Owen from the previous movie are recruited to go rescue as many dinosaurs as possible before the volcano consumes the island. But unknown to our heroes, the true goal is to get the dinosaurs so that those creatures can be auctioned off on the black market. Therefore, the company that created Jurassic World can recuperate some of its profits after the great loss of the theme park and, of course, the giant class action lawsuits that the company faced. Now, normally I try to list a bunch of things that I liked about a movie and things that I didn't like about the movie, but in this case, it's almost all dislikes. I have nothing really significant to say that I liked about the movie. I mean, Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard and the other actors act well, but what's the point of having good actors if their characters are all stupid? The dinosaurs look great, but this is the 5th movie of the franchise. They ought to look great. Jeff Goldblum is in one scene that's really chopped up in half, so it's at the beginning, at the end, and he's great, but, you know, he's Jeff Goldblum. The only thing in particular for me was seeing Ted Levine. I haven't seen him since the old Bunk TV series, so it was great to see him again. But aside from those surface level things, I have nothing really good to say. So as I was jotting my notes about what I wanted to talk about, and I was listening to all the things that I didn't like or didn't make sense or hated or infuriated, I got to around 16 and I was like, no, I can't do much more than that. And if I did any more, then I might as well make a separate rant video, but I don't want to make a separate rant video because I want to just get this over with, because just like seeing the movie, I just want to get this over with. So I'm going to talk about 5 things that broke immersion for me and my suspension of disbelief in the movie. There's a lot more than 5. It's not even necessarily the top 5. It's just my personal top 5, and I'm going to do it rant style. Now, there will be time links in the description, so if you want to jump ahead, you can. And with that in mind, here are the top things that broke my immersion in Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Number 1, Dino Sore Us. The character of Claire is completely wrong. For some reason, she has founded the Dinosaur Protection Group. What? That doesn't make any sense. Why would someone that has survived a dinosaur rampage be on Team Dinosaur? What does she tell her family, assuming that her sister allows Claire to communicate with them at all? Do you remember that her nephews almost died several times while Claire was too busy running the theme park that nearly killed them? This movie doesn't touch that subject at all. Come to think of it, why isn't Claire in jail? During the aftermath of Jurassic World, you know there had been investigations into criminal negligence. The theme park company would have thrown Claire under the bus. She's responsible for the death, mutilation, and trauma of thousands of customers, including children. She should be in jail. Some people get arrested if their dog escapes their yards and attacks people in the neighborhood. Claire is responsible for a freaking dinosaur outbreak. Why isn't she in jail? Then she forms a dinosaur protection group? That just makes her appear even more guilty, like she wanted the customers to suffer. Claire should either be in jail or wearing ankle bracelets the size of leg warmers. The reason why Claire isn't in jail and her family isn't mentioned is because this movie is totally pro-dinosaur. In the movie, the dinosaurs are the good guys. They are the victims. They are the oppressed. Therefore, the protagonist had to be pro-dino. Claire is a protagonist, therefore, she has to be Team Dinosaur. Even though she was nearly killed by dinos, her family was nearly killed by dinos, and several thousand people were killed or permanently harmed by dinos. including children. Number 2, Dino You Didn't. Another bad character is Franklin. He is too cowardly to be in this movie. He is afraid of insects. He's afraid of flying. He's certainly afraid of dying. Therefore, he shouldn't go to Jurassic World. Claire has to go to the island because her handprint is needed to unlock certain areas. However, they didn't really need Franklin to work the access computers. Any decent tech guy could have probably done it. If not, Franklin could have simply given instructions over the phone or printed them on a piece of paper. Whatever the case, he would be too cowardly to journey to the island himself. He's not getting a bonus or promotion. He wasn't related to or dating any of the other characters. Therefore, he wouldn't go to an island full of uncaged dinosaurs. He wouldn't go to an island with a volcano that could erupt at any moment. He certainly wouldn't go to an island full of uncaged dinos with an active volcano that could erupt at any moment. The movie even has the nerve to have Franklin shout, "Why am I here?" The reason why Franklin was there is because the movie needed somebody to scream, cry, and panic for comedy relief. All adventure stories need some comedy relief, but if a character is going to be present throughout the movie, then his entire existence shouldn't be all about pranks and pratfalls unless the movie is a ruckus comedy or parody. If Franklin had started out as a confident guy that became cowardly across the film, then that would have been better. If the opposite happened, that Franklin went from being a coward to brave, then that would have made sense too. You can't introduce a character that is a total coward and have that coward go to a place more dangerous than Afghanistan without giving the character a legitimate incentive to be there. Franklin isn't a character. He's a prop that screams. Number 3, Dino Another Day. Do you know that old trope about villains that lock up the heroes or leave the heroes for dead instead of just killing the heroes outright? That happens 3 times in the movie. The mercenaries left Owen tranquilized on the island. Another time was the fact that Zaya was still being held captive in the lab, despite her no longer being needed to treat Blue's bullet wound. The worst moment was when Owen and Claire were being held inside a cage, despite the fact that the villains agreed on a cover story for the protagonist's deaths. I can forgive Owen on the island because the mercenaries would have assumed he wouldn't wake up in time to save himself. Plus, it led to a stupid yet hilarious scene of Owen trying to crawl himself away from lava. The other 2 moments aren't forgivable. Once the scientists had Blue, there was no reason to keep Zaya around. Anything she could do, the other scientists could do better. Plus, the woman was annoying as heck, so the mercenaries would have jumped at the chance to kill her. I wanted to jump at the chance to kill her. Owen and Claire were kept alive purely because they're the heroes of the franchise. The villains had already tried leaving the heroes for dead on the island. Because that tactic failed, the villains should have just killed the heroes as swiftly as possible. Not only could they have killed the heroes, but they wouldn't have even to worry about disposing their bodies. Just feed the bodies to one of the carnivore dinosaurs. Bang, dead, done. It's bad enough the trope happened once. It's absurd for it to happen twice. 3 times? 3? Are you serious? What's that old saying? Fool me once, shame on you. You can't get fooled again. Number 4, Dino Crisis. This movie features a black market auction of dinosaurs. The concept of weaponized dinosaurs was introduced in the previous movie. The auction scene is part of a long-term build-up to having the dinosaurs used for combat in future films. I can believe the idea of a dinosaur arms race. However, the demonstration of the military process was absurd. The new dinosaur, The Indoraptor needs a combination of laser targeting and sonic signals for it to attack. Okay, fine. However, the process was demonstrating by using a gun with a laser scope. The soldier points the gun's laser at the target, waits for the Indoraptor to notice the target, then the soldier pushes a button on the gun to start the sonic signal. That sends the Indoraptor into its vicious attack mode. After the demonstration, the patrons at the auction begin bidding. We don't get to see the eventual winning bid, but it has to be around $30 million. I'm sorry, but if I have a gun with a laser scope and I get a bead on the target, then why wouldn't I just shoot the target? The whole point of having a laser sighting on a gun is to improve your shot. How is sending a $30 million animal to attack a better option than just shooting the target immediately? Furthermore, if I have $30 million to spend on a single dinosaur, then I probably have money to buy a lot of soldiers and arm them with sniper rifles or hire professional assassins. For the cost of one dino, I could just hire Deadshot or Scaramanga several times over. The military does use laser targeting for ground troops to coordinate aerial assaults. If the demonstration had been about using ground troops to coordinate pterodactyl attacks, then that would have been fine. Another option could have been for the auctioneer to use a regular laser pointer with a sound button. No gun at all. That would have helped maintain suspension of disbelief. But no, the filmmakers just had to use a gun. Why? Because using a gun will allow both Owen and Claire to hold guns later in the movie. We already know that Owen is an ex-Navy badass. Now, Claire also gets to wield a gun, so she can also be a badass in future movies. The filmmakers sacrificed immersion in order to set up the sequel. That sentence pretty much covers a lot that happens within this movie, but I'll move on. Number 5, Dino Might! Ever since I saw the first trailer, I wanted one thing from the movie. I didn't just want it, I needed it. The ethical question of the movie is whether or not the dinosaurs deserve the same protection as other rare and endangered species. Should we save the dinosaurs from the island, or should we let them perish from the volcano? Although I can understand that a sector of the public will want the dinosaurs saved because they believe in animal rights to a fault, however, I needed someone in the movie to offer the claim, we don't need to save them, we can make more, they're not endangered, we made them once, we can make them again, it's not nice, but it is an option, we can make more. The premise of the entire franchise is that mankind can make dinosaurs. Not only can we make dinosaurs, but we can make them all female to control the breeding. We can make designer dinosaurs like the Indominus Rex. If we can make dinosaurs by extracting blood from mosquitoes that have been fossilized for several million years, then we can certainly make dinosaurs for the animals that recently perished at the theme park. In fact, the movie itself has the nerve of starting with a scuba expedition to retrieve a bone fracture from the Indominus Rex's corpse. How is it that the villains can figure out that the dinos are replaceable, but no one in the general public has figured it out? Claire doesn't even bring it up, and she was in charge of the theme park for years, including overseeing the creation of the Indominus Rex. Why is she trying to save a bunch of creatures that she knows can be recreated? The reason why the villains mention remaking dinos instead of the heroes is because the dinosaurs are supposed to be the victims. It's like I said before, the dinos need protection. The dinos need to be rescued. The dinos need to be allowed to live. If the protagonists bring up the topic of replacing the creatures, then it will collapse the narrative. The heroes have to be totally pro-dinosaur. Never mind the fact that this is the 5th movie about mankind's artificially created dinosaurs. None of the protagonists think of it. No one at the congressional hearing thinks of it. Not even Ian Malcolm mentions that we can make more dinosaurs. Now, like I said, that's just the top 5 things that broke my immersion. There's a lot more I can cover. The Zaya character alone, I could probably make a video just on how frustratingly awful that character is, but I think you get the gist of it. Suspension of disbelief is important in all fiction, and if the movie's good and the adventure is good and the story is good, you can let go a lot of things, like, you know, Superman flying around the earth backwards to go back in time. We all know that's not how time works, but still, the movie is great overall, so you can just sort of let that go. And the history of Superman is full of really, really, really bizarre stuff anyway. But in this case, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, there was just too many things that broke my immersion, too many things that were just set up for the purpose of setting up the next movie. It was just ridiculous after stupid, after foolish, after what? Like, This movie is the worst film I've seen in theaters in 2018 so far. Now, I'm not saying it's the worst movie of 2018 so far. There are much worse movies out there. But as far as movies that I've gone to the theater to see, it's the worst movie I've seen in 2018 so far. It's so bad that I knew that there was some type of post-credit scene, and I didn't stay for it. And I got to see this movie for free. I got to see it at a special advanced screening, and as soon as the main credits came up, I was up and out of the door. I was like, I'll just look up online what happens in the post-credit scene. So essentially, I kind of walked out of a movie that I was seeing for free. Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom is one of those weird films like Terminator Genesis and Star Wars The Last Jedi, where they're trying to be a sequel and a part reboot, and yet try to do their own thing, and then pay homages to stuff that happened beforehand in the franchise, while totally ignoring things that happened in the franchise, while totally rewriting things that happened in the franchise. And at least with this movie, it's coherent as opposed to those other type of films that are some type of sequel, reboot thing. I don't know. I don't think we have a word for it, but still, it's a mess, but it is coherent. It's stupid, but it's coherent. So I did enjoy this movie as all. If you love Jurassic Park franchise, go ahead and see it. If you just want to see dinosaurs, go ahead and see it. Like I said, the dinosaurs look great. We've got scary dinosaurs, funny dinosaurs, cool dinosaurs, big dinosaurs, little dinosaurs. You get plenty of dinosaurs. And so if you want dinosaurs, this is going to satisfy you. But if you want some characters that do things that make sense, if you don't want just silliness to the point where this might as well be a straight up cartoon, then I just can't recommend this movie. It gets a D from me. Okay, that's my review / rant of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Thank you very much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Be sure to share whatever comments you'd like to have in the comments section. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, or dislike, share, and subscribe. Once again, I'm High Heel Knight. Thank you very much for watching. And remember, find inspiration everywhere.